Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is super exciting because we are working out together, and this is not something that I've done ever before, and it's just something I'm really passionate about, and so I'm really excited to just share with you guys. I struggled so much in this workout. You're about to see me like die basically. It's hard, so just prepare yourself. I didn't make it through a lot of the rounds. I had to like take breaks and keep going, so just be prepared for that. Hi guys. Alright, to get started, we are going to get our runners on, and we're going to grab just 2 cloths that are going to be later on in the workout. That is all the equipment, and then of course your water bottle to stay hydrated while we work out together. And getting started, we're just gonna swing those arms, kicking those legs back, just getting our body completely warmed up and ready to move and just get that heart rate up. And now we're just going to go into some toe touches and just kicking that leg up as high as you can and reaching forward with the opposite arm. Next, we're just going to go into some toe touch circles, and so this is just going to open up our hips. It feels so good, this stretch. I love this one, it's my favorite. And yeah, just going in a circle, going side to side, feeling that stretch in each movement. And going straight into some jumping jacks, just being really mindful of our arms coming all the way up. Sometimes I find that just from being exhausted or whatever, I tend to not go the full range of motion, so just keeping yourself aware of that. Going into some squats, you're just going to want to be careful of our knees. It's super important when doing our squats that our knee doesn't go past our toes. You want to be able to see your toes while you're squatting, but most importantly, just keeping our head up and shoulders back while we're squatting and looking in front of you at a wall or wherever you're working out, just looking straight in front, just to keep our knees and everything else safe. Bringing that heart rate up back again, we're going to go into our split squats, keeping it nice and quick, just alternating legs in front of you. And going into our march pull downs, warming up our legs and arms and our core in this move. Just bringing up each knee as high as you can while pulling down those arms, and engaging that core as well, as this will also work the abs. And going straight into our squat with a leg raise, this is going to warm up our glutes, our quads, the inner thighs, and also our core, as that stabilizes this movement and your obliques. And going straight into our side lunge with a hop. This is our second last move, so push through, guys, you can do it. For extra work on our glutes, you can push up from your heel, and that's gonna target the glutes more in this move. And lastly, just going into some arm circles, loosen up those shoulders and just going forward and backwards, ensuring that we are completely ready to start our workout. Okay, and we are ready to start. Our first move is going to be some jumping jacks, keeping it nice and light on the feet and getting those hands completely up. And just doing a quick rundown of how our workout is going to go today. We are going to be doing 15 different moves for 45 seconds each to ensure that you don't get bored throughout the workout. And we will also end with a burnout round, which will also have 5 different moves that will be 45 seconds each as well. Our next move is going to be hip dips, tilting our hips right and to the center and left to the center and repeating that as you go. This is going to work our obliques, our core, even the tops of your thighs could be possibly burning. Mine were, and it sucked. Alright, and just keeping that bod moving while you're in your rest period before the next move, just to keep the heart rate going. We're going to go into some pop squats, keeping it nice and quick and light on the feet, again ensuring and just being aware of those knees, making sure they don't go past the toes. And just getting as deep as you can into those squats. And again, pushing up from the heels, as that will target the glutes a bit more. And, you know, everyone wants a toned booty, so that is a tip for you. And going right into our plank reaches next. We're gonna alternate arms, reaching forward like you're gonna grab something off a shelf and just keeping that bum down. I know it's gonna have a habit of kind of your hips are gonna wanna go up more, but try and keep them low and keep that back in a nice straight line and just reaching forward. Transitioning quick into 2 jump lunges with a half burpee. This was killer. So it's definitely gonna burn those legs, but keep it as quick as you can. And if you need to break it down, go slow. Just keep your body moving. And next we're gonna go into some ab rockers. This is my fave ab move. We're just gonna go side to side, reaching for the heel and ideally reaching for like your pinky toe on each side. So just keeping that core engaged, keeping your head and neck lifted off of the ground while doing this. For the next 3 moves, we're going to grab our face cloths and we are going to go into some mountain climbers for this move, pulling that knee in towards our chest on each movement. Get ready, guys. This move will certainly be burning. Okay, this is our side tuck. So we're gonna have our feet together on each move, and you're gonna bring both legs together and crunch to each side. It's gonna crunch to the right and crunch to the left. As you can see, I was struggling. So if you need to break it down, you can do single leg side crunch instead of having both together, just to make it a little bit easier. Okay, if you're able to do this without taking any breaks and doing legs together the whole time, you are literally Superman or Superwoman. You are a beast, because, oh man, I was dead. The next move is our wide leg sweeps. So just doing single legs, sweeping out nice and wide as far as you can, and alternating legs each time. And going right into our side squat jumps. Gonna squat to the side and jump in the center each time.
keeping those feet moving, we're gonna go right into our broad jumps. So just getting down nice and low and jumping forward as far as you can with the space that you have available. Our next move is going to be our jump squat with a front kick. So just squatting down as deep as you can, jumping up and kicking with one leg in front of you, alternating legs each time. Awesome work, you guys. We're nearly there. We're so close. Just a few more moves until a burnout round. Next, we're going to go into some bicycle crunches. So we're going to get down to the ground and start those up in just a couple of seconds. And for this crunch, you're going to be making sure that you are bringing opposite elbow to opposite knee and just being aware that the tops of our thighs aren't coming in past our belly button when you are going in to tap the elbow to that knee. And doing this just really isolates those abs once again to really make sure that that is the only muscle group that you're working. And going right into our single leg taps, making sure that those tops of the thighs aren't going past our belly button again. One way I like to make sure that they don't is just by having my hands in front of my thighs, just so that keeps me aware of where they need to be and that they can't come past that. And so you're just going to tap each foot on the ground, engaging that core the whole time and just connecting the muscle to mind and just making sure in each movement that you are working the core. Awesome, give that a rest. I'm just gonna hold myself in a bridge position here. You can do that as well if you want during this break, just to engage those glutes and core a little bit more. Next, we're gonna go right into our last move, which is double leg taps. So last time we had a single leg. This time we're gonna have our feet together, and this is gonna really be a core burner, as you can see. Struggling hardcore over here. You're gonna lower each leg together at the same time, just tapping that floor. Yay, guys, we made it through. We survived. Next, we have our burnout round, so just pause it here and give yourself a little break. Our first move is going to be our side leg reaches. So just alternating legs, you're going to tap with the opposite hand to opposite foot and just going to each side. Okay, so I don't have a name for this next move, but we're gonna call it the dog freeze knee taps, because you're kind of in like a dog position, I guess, and you're gonna have our knees not touching the ground in this, so they're gonna be elevated off the ground, and you're gonna have opposite hand to opposite knee tapping each side. And going right into our Spider-Mans, we're going to bring our right knee to tap our right elbow and our left knee to tap our left elbow. For a harder version, you can even add in a little push-up while that knee is coming up to tap that elbow. For the next move, we're going into our plank jack, so keeping it nice and light on the feet and quick, and you can either do this on our forearms or just on the palms of your hand. Either way, it's gonna be tough, but we're so close. This is our second last move. You guys are doing amazing. And for our last move, we're just gonna do some plank in and out taps. So just having those feet moving, tapping out and in. Okay guys, that literally had me dead. Let me know if it was really hard for you too. But we made it. Starting with our cool down, we're just gonna start swinging our arms, just loosening up everything that we've just worked now. And just going into a soft lunge, not going too deep into it. We're just gonna cross over one arm. Feeling that stretch all throughout the arm that's crossed over. This is my favorite stretch because it gets the hips in the soft lunge pose as well as the arms there. And so just doing an overhead stretch as well. And switching to the other side, going into that lunge pose and that overhead stretch. And just crossing the other arm across the body now. In a wide stance, we're going to lean forward and touch our toes. And just clasping those hands behind the back, opening up the chest, just stretching all that out, releasing some of the tension. It gets pretty tight sometimes, so that is a favorite of mine. And we're just gonna go into that lunge now and just stretch out the one leg on the side there. And switch sides. And going into a toe touch with our feet together this time, just reaching our toes as best as you can. Stretching out the quads, grabbing one leg behind you, either with one arm or with both, and just going into that stretch, leaning a little bit forward. Switch sides, and me losing my balance. And move into the floor. We're gonna go into our butterfly stretch. And so we're gonna have the heels of our feet together and bring it as close to you as possible. And just leaning into that stretch, it's gonna open up our hips. And going into a wide leg spread, we're just gonna lean forward in that stretch. And again, it's just gonna open up those hips and loosen up some of the tightness from our workout. And going into a forward stretch with those legs, feet together. This is gonna help stretch out those hamstrings, which are in the back of our legs, and our quads, and it will definitely help with your flexibility overall. So just trying to touch our toes as best as you can. If you can't reach, that's totally fine. Next we're gonna go into our single leg stretch, so just trying to reach. And swap legs. And going into our figure four stretch, we're gonna put one leg across the other and just gently pull towards you. This is gonna stretch out the glutes and hamstrings specifically. You're definitely gonna feel it in the glutes. This is one of my favorites, again, just because it feels so good after a good leg day. And go into the other side. And gently pulling one knee towards your chest, stretching out that one leg. And swap. And flipping, we're gonna go into our cobra stretch, and this will target those abs and just stretch all that out. And leaning back into our child's pose. And going into our cat-cow, we're gonna round our back and tuck our chin and arch our back and raise our head up. And going into one final toe touch, getting as close as you can to touching your toes. Bending those knees and rolling your way up. Awesome job, guys. We have completed this workout. Thanks for joining me today.